Hello everyone, Sarah here at Three Little Potters, and I have a kiln opening for you today while we have just a little bit of light left. This opening, a lot of my best-selling, just sort of small bowls. You can tell when I need to make some money because my kiln loads are very heavy, small bowls, and not a whole lot of experiments. So yeah, to finish my Christmas list of shopping, we're doing a whole bunch of ring dishes. So let's get into it. Notice this top shelf is pretty close to the kiln load lid. I don't usually pack a kiln quite this tightly, but I have today. I've got some new glazes in here, maybe not new to me, but probably new to you, so we'll go over that too. This is also very, very hot. If anyone's interested, I use these gloves. These are like rose pruning gloves, and they're still kind of flexible. So, okay, this is Speckled Purple Haze by Mako. That's a stroking coat. I know there was some confusion on my last opening about who made that glaze, but yes, this is the Mako's version of that. Sometimes I do these little bowls with a spoon rest. Okay, I've got a few with that Speckled Purple Haze. It's over Studio White and it has snow on the rim. Okay, Chun Seafoam, a little bit of Floating Blue, and a little bit of Shipwreck. And a little bit of snow. It's a lot. My Blue Heaven over Studio White with a little bit of that dirty snow on the rim. I know I've got a ton more of that somewhere, but Speckled Grapple, another one of those Mako stroking coats. It's over white with dirty snow. That's sort of a standard thing that I do. Cactus over Studio White. Rising Sunshine, Mixed Glaze, Shipwreck, and Dirty Snow. I'm sick of saying Dirty Snow, so I'm going to mix up another cover glaze and we'll see, just so I have something different to say. Shipwreck and Rising Sunshine and Dirty Snow. Okay, this is, so the base glaze is different. This is a glaze I used to use. It's Seltzer Chun, and the trouble I've had with this glaze in the past is that sometimes if it gets thick, it'll blister bubble in the middle, but it did not do that here. And this is it with Parakeet by Coyote, a combo I have never done before. Okay, and this is Chun Seafoam with June Purple. A Variegated Dove Gray with Coyote's Amethyst. Nebula Blue with My Blue Heaven and Dirty Snow. Speckled Grapple over Studio White with Snow. And this is Parakeet over Studio White. Strontium Gloss, the Mixed Glaze, and I believe that has Midnight Run on the rim. Lavender Mist over Studio White. Variegated Slate with Strontium Crystal Magic. I have a couple of those. And that is the same combo. Okay, well that looks nice actually. So this is the Seltzer Chun with June Purple, sort of a dip to here of the June Purple. That's not too bad, that looks nice. It's a little bit of a translucent blue-green, and sometimes I have mixed feelings about the coverage of translucent glazes, but okay, this is Micro Pearl and Sunrise. It's really pretty in the middle. I know the spiral thing is all kind of overdone, but some of these ring dishes I really like a pronounced spiral. I might do more of that. Lavender Mist over Studio White. Textured Kiwi by Spectrum over Studio White. June Purple over Studio White. This is a new offering in the shop. I basically did some just mini spoon rests for like a teaspoon if you're having tea. You know I drink a lot of tea, so I thought that might be fun. Rising Sun Chang with Lynette Opal. Chattering looks nice there. Nebula Blue with Lavender Mist. I know the bottom needs a little bit of work, but it's okay. It's kind of nice right there where the two are combining over that texture. This is Variegated Dove with Studio White over top. Sunrise over Studio White. This is Lavender Mist over Micro Pearl. Outside's looking pretty here. Really getting some crystals there. Excuse the part that needs to be sanded. It does look pretty though. Okay, one last of that Rising Sun Shipwreck and Snow combo. All right, this is River Birch, and that is ×2 brushed coats of River Birch over my Night Glaze. And here I have, this is it over Midnight, another glaze of mine. So Night and Midnight. Kind of interesting here. Let me see if I can hold that up better. So Midnight is a black glaze that has some cobalt to help that black sort of go true. And this is used a Best Black stain. So you'll get kind of a different variation as to how the overglaze reacts based on those components of the original glaze. That's a lot. All right. June Purple over Studio White. All right. This one looked like it was struggling a little bit there. I believe that's Coyote's Amethyst with Seltzer Chun. Probably try to refire that. It's not bare clay right there, but it's not... I certainly didn't apply it with a blank spot there. Okay, what do we have here? I think this is... What has happened here? Okay, it's Moon River, and it is also Nebula Blue, and it's also got June Purple on the rim, and I think that was probably a mistake. I think I meant that to be 2 glazes instead of 3, but that's okay. Yes. I don't know. Floating Blue and Seltzer Chun. Expected that to look better. June Purple and Studio White. Same. All right, this is June Purple with Red Crawls ×3. And I did 2 of those. They're both ×3. One's a little smaller as far as the way it broke apart than the other. Maybe one was wetter when it went into the kiln. Variegated Slate, again with SCM. Lavender Mist, Studio White. Many of my mixed glazes, if you're not on Glazy, can be found in John Britt's Exploring Mid-Range Glazes book. If you're looking for a big recipe book of glazes, that's a good one to go with. Chun Seafoam. I'm sorry, that's not. So, okay, this was a refire. So the original was textured kiwi over my Night Glaze, and then it had those bare spots, and I put more textured kiwi, but it's gone really blue like Chun Seafoam would. So this looks like that, but it is not that. Okay. Interesting here. I believe this is Nimbus over Seltzer Chun. Never seen that combo before, so for a minute I was questioning whether it was Midnight Run, but I'm pretty sure that's Nimbus over Seltzer Chun. All right, next shelf. Some things that are interesting to me in here. Particularly that. That's interesting. There's a lot going on in that dish. I see new combos. And that, wow, look at me in my camera. That's a very mirrored finish on that black walnut. Ooh. Looks good, looks good. Okay, this was a dip of green tea, and then it had a brushed coat of black walnut over top. So pretty much just one and one of that, one dip and one brushed coat. Maybe more would have happened if it was thicker, but that's pretty. It's very glossy. Actually, it's almost, it's blue in some light. I don't know if you can see that. When I set it down over here, those blue crystals were really showing. Okay. This is Old Forge Floating Sunset or Floating Orange if you're looking up the recipe. I have a bit of dirty snow on that. Okay, Nimbus over Studio White. I've got a few different cover glazes here. That is also Nimbus over Studio White. Floating Blue and Dirty Snow over Studio White. I mean, it's a pretty one. I had my daughter applying some of the Floating Blue, and she was heavy-handed, and I'm like, you know, Floating Blue, you can go really thick. Just make sure it's on the inside, and you'll be fine. Again, with that variegated slate. That's always a good seller for me, that particular dish. I know it's a little bit plain, but... Okay, so this is a glaze called La Motte. That's a mixed glaze, and it has lavender mist on that rim. I have some different ones of that mixed in here. That's Nimbus again over Studio White. Coyote's Amethyst over white. It wanted to crawl. It is and it isn't crawled. I don't know. It's just kind of part of the design. What it is it's black satin and textured kiwi. So it's kind of a satin matte glaze, but because of my super fast cool, it's gone almost gloss. So yeah, you know, pairing that matte glaze with a glossy glaze, you get a lot of movement. Amethyst and micro pearl. What do we have here? This is La Motte with Shipwreck and Snow. It looks very similar to the way it behaves with Rising Sun though. La Motte, and this is Rising Sun as a base. Maybe a little bluer. This is Nebula Blue with the Moon River over top. I'm not sure where I'm getting some of these darker marks. Spill of something, maybe? Okay. This was Chun-Sea Foam and Lynette Opal and a little bit of Dirty Snow. That Dirty Snow, if you're heavy with it over Chun-Sea Foam, you can get, it can raise that expansion a little bit much, but here it's just giving a nice sort of heavy gloss on the outside. Okay, this is Midnight and Amethyst. Kind of a subtle, I have to sand that bottom. It's pretty though. I like that as a sake color. Oh, that scared me half to death. I'll have to edit that noise out. Oh goodness. Okay, I believe that's Midnight Run over Micro Pearl. Too many hot things. This is Amethyst over Nebula Blue. Parakeet over La Motte. This is Parakeet over Micro Pearl. I think I did a bunch of Parakeet in here too. Okay, this is Parakeet over Nebula Blue by Laguna. And parakeet over Studio White. And this, yeah, what is that? I believe that is Aurora Breeze and parakeet over Lamont. So some interesting variations on that yellow parakeet glaze. Really still loving it. You know, after that review of yellow glazes, I've sort of been using that parakeet more as my go-to yellow and loving it. What is it? I believe it's just Tuscan Blue over Micro Pearl. I'm surprised it almost looks like Lapis Flow in the middle, but I didn't get that glaze out, so. And I believe this is Midnight Run over Nebula Blue. Parakeet over Midnight. And this ran a bit. Okay, now I definitely know what that is, though. That is Dove Gray and Textured Kiwi. And those, I feel like I have another one in my Refire area that's almost the same as that. Sunrise and Aurora Breeze over Studio White. Green Tea and Black Walnut. That's pretty. I'm not sure why I have so much, I think I might have put just a little bit of Lynette Opal there, and that's why I sort of have that lighter color, which I kind of prefer to when it goes black, black. All right. That's Textured Kiwi again over Studio White. I believe that one was actually a Refire. I had that little crawl spot last time. Night Floating Blue Snow. This was Strontium Gloss with Sunrise on the rim. I have not done that combo before, so that's interesting to me. Midnight Run and Micro Pearl. All right. Wow. It's interesting. I believe it's just Nimbus over White with some, just a little bit of snow. It's got kind of a rainbow in the middle. It's kind of surprising. Okay, Variegated Dove, Studio White. Variegated Slate, SCM. And last one on this shelf is Cactus over White. Tuscan Blue and Shipwreck and Transceiver Bull is really pretty. I feel like the vibrancy of the color isn't coming through, but looks very cool. I'm trying to avoid some of those drips on the shelf. All right, this one is Tuscan Blue and Transceiver with a bit of Shipwreck. That is just a really pretty combo. It definitely gives sort of a little bit of a mirrored finish, a little bit of some crystals. It's very pretty. It actually came out well too. It's not, I don't see any flaws. Always a rare treat when you pull something out of the kiln that needs nothing. Okay. Application could have been better. I dipped some June Purple on that bottom to bring out that texture, and then I dipped the whole thing in white, and then I put on some Autumn Purple and Aurora Breeze. Somehow I thought this was gonna meld a little bit more. It's pretty. I like this part better, and I wish the purple hadn't dribbled, but I couldn't even see that because it was under the Studio White, so I bet somebody will like it. This bowl before, it was birch and it was midnight, and I added Shipwreck to kind of pull it together. So say that the birch went a little bit darker on that Refire. Dove Gray and Studio White. It's Micro Pearl Is it micro pearl? Yeah, I think it's actually, I'm sorry, I think it's Lamont actually in Autumn Purple. I think I do have micro pearl and Autumn Purple in here, but that one was Lamont. And this is Studio White with Autumn Purple. What else do we have in here? Floating Blue, Dirty Snow. And this is Midnight and Amethyst. I feel like the dark combos usually go pretty fast, so I'm trying to put more in. Oof, that one's on the kiln shelf. My husband was wiping the bottoms on some of these, and I think he didn't wipe the bottom on this one. That was him. That glaze doesn't move. Amethyst again, and Midnight, and Floating Blue, and Snow, and Night. Floating Blue and Snow again. I think it looks like, okay, so here's my cone 6. So yeah, it got a little extra heat, which was kind of to be expected because it was packed so much fuller than normal. So you can see my Floating Blue moved more, so it's more in one section, like it all pulled together rather than still being caught while it's running. Nebula Blue and Moon River. Again, I have Nebula Blue as a dipping glaze, so because Nebula Blue with Moon River overlooks so similar to 3 brush coats of Moon River, I'm able to kind of get the same effect, but at 1/3 of the time. And I'm all about saving time right now. What is it? I think it looks like Parakeet and Midnight. I thought I'd already did that combo, but maybe I did too. Sunrise and Studio White. This is Chun Seafoam and Lynette Opal. Nebula with Bougainvillea. Ooh, that's pretty. Floating Sunset, I call it. That's by Old Forge Creations recipe. Green Tea and Black Walnut. This is a Floating Sunset with Studio White and Dirty Snow. Let me move some stuff. All right, back to it. Tuscan Blue and Chun Seafoam. Floating Sunset and Dirty Snow. Same here, it's got a, see that spot? That's what happens when organic matter burns out, I'm afraid to say. So that one, we'll see if we can fill it in. Those spots can be stubborn though. Autumn Purple by Spectrum over Studio White. Sunrise and Aurora Breeze. I don't know how that happened, but that happened. Oh, goodness, sometimes. Nimbus over Rising Sun. It's kind of a couple, it looks, okay, look at it, it's a face. See the 2 eyes and the nose with like a swirly mouth? Maybe I won't refire it. Rising Sun and Moon River. I don't really like that, but I think I forgot that I didn't like that. Okay. River Birch and Amethyst over Midnight. And that again is Nimbus over White. Nebula Blue with Nimbus. And I believe this is Nimbus over Midnight. All right, we'll try to go through before I move everything. Rising Sun and Lynette Opal. I don't love that. I should use Snow. And this is Night with Floating Blue and Snow. I've had a few requests for these. I think it's Christmas time, so people are looking for more darker combos to give as presents. Seems to be the case. This is Seltzer Chun with Moon River. And this is Black Walnut with Green Tea. That one bowl looks pretty wow down in here. That's pretty. That one's not bad either. A couple of these are nice looking. I wonder what that is. Do you see it? My husband was helping me wipe bottoms and he grabbed that piece there that I hadn't even finished glazing. Now I'm never going to be able to fix it. I'm not good with having people help me. This is how I don't have an employee yet. I'm not very nice. No, but really, like, how could he not tell that I hadn't finished glazing this? There's no glaze on the top of it. I'll charge him $15. All right, let's look at the pretty bowl, cheer ourselves up. It's Floating Sunset and it has some white on it. I know we're getting a reflection, end of the day here, and Dirty Snow. The white and the Floating Sunset are both kind of low expansion glazes, so it can usually take a little bit of extra flux without crazing. So it's a really pretty combo when you can manage to do that with it. This was Night and Floating Blue and Snow. And again, all my blue just went right down. So that blue is really over this whole section, whole intersection, really thick ×3. And it just moved a lot. It is Blue Opal and it is got some Dirty Snow and I think a little bit of something else, it looks like. I think I put a little bit of amethyst on it, but I'll have to double check that one. Retry that one sometime in the future. I don't usually get quite that much modeling from those two. Yeah, it was strontium gloss and it was a dip of micropearl, but the micropearl wasn't mixed enough, so then I tried to put a little bit of snow on it to fix it. Variegated slate and it has Dirty Snow on the rim. I think all of my glazes are looking a lot more crystally on this shelf. I think because the kiln was so packed that it cooled slower than it usually does, so I got a little bit more crystal growth in some of those glazes. Wow. It's a strontium gloss, and I believe that's Nimbus on the rim. I don't think I've ever done that combo. I would like to have said that that was slate, but I know it wasn't. Chun Seafoam and June Purple. All right, Fuzzy Peach over Studio White. Speckled Graple with Dirty Snow over Studio White. Oh, these little mini spoon rests are really cute, I think. Floating Sunset and Dirty Snow. Autumn Purple in Micro Pearl. And this is Autumn Purple and La Motte. That was the one I was thinking of from before. Bougainvillea and Micro Pearl. And this is Bougainvillea and La Motte. And this is it with Studio White. Interesting. The brightest combination is over Studio White, and this is the Micro Pearl, and the La Motte being somewhere in the middle of the two. 3. It's Blue Opal, the mixed glaze with Dirty Snow. And yeah, it's doing that. I guess that was just a thicker coat of, thicker dip of Blue Opal, because they look very similar here. So I don't think there is a third glaze there. I think it's just a heavier coat. It's interesting, sometimes in a dip, you know, it's like the difference between 1 second or 1, 2 visually makes a lot of difference. What is it? It's green tea in Moon River, I think. I only did a few green tea combos, so there's only a couple things it could be. Floating Sunset and Dirty Snow. But that one surprises me a little bit. That's Night and Floating Blue and Dirty Snow. Chun Seafoam and Tuscan Blue. Strontium Gloss and Tuscan Blue. Variegated Slate with Sturdy Snow. It's a tongue twister. Same, Variegated Slate and Dirty Snow. This is Dove Gray and Midnight. I need room. All right, Shipwreck. I'm sorry, it's Tuscan Blue, Chun Seafoam, and Shipwreck. That is Strontium Gloss and Studio White on the rim. This is Green Tea and Chun Seafoam, I believe. I think it might just be green tea and Dirty Snow. Is that possible? This is a Rising Sun with green tea on the rim. Strontium Gloss with Studio White. This is Night with Chun Seafoam. That one came out nice. And again, Night with Chun Seafoam. Right, Floating Sunset and Dirty Snow. Tuscan Blue and Variegated Dove. June Purple with Chun Seafoam. Same here in my little spoon rest. Strontium Gloss with Dove Gray. Rising Sun with Chun Seafoam. And this is Chun Seafoam, a full dip over Studio White. I believe this is Lamont and Tuscan Blue. I'm surprised at that result. Great, we're down to the last shelf. It's getting a little bit dark out, but hopefully you can still see that. That one looks very nice. Okay, it's Waterfall Brown in Lynette Opal. Just a thicker coat of that Lynette Opal there. I did a whole bunch of that Waterfall Brown with Lynette Opal, so I'm just going to do a quick scan over here on the kiln edge, and then I'm going to stack them up to make some room. I think this is the fullest load I've done since I've been recording these because I have no place to put anything. Strontium Gloss and Variegated Dove. And this was Chun Seafoam over Studio White with a little bit of Tuscan Blue added. Just kind of a really pretty blue-green there. I don't have a spot. Okay, hold on. Technical difficulties. Okay, I've come up with a piece of wood where things can go. Blue Opal and Dirty Snow. It's kind of a pretty shaped dish. I have a few more in that combo, so more of that Blue Opal. It seems to have liked the hotter kiln. I would say that and that Floating Sunset like this slightly hotter kiln. Tuscan Blue and Chun Seafoam. And this is Rising Sun Chang and Chun Seafoam. Midnight and Variegated Dove. Chancy Foam and Tuscan Blue. I feel like that glaze looks even better in person. I think people are going to love that when they open it up. Nebula and Tuscan Blue. I don't think I loved that as much. This is very matte. This is La Motte with Tuscan Blue, and that is about as matte as you can get. That one has a glaze imperfection. I might sand that off and refire. That's Rising Sun Chang with Tuscan Blue. Chancy Foam and Tuscan Blue there. And I believe this is Nebula and Tuscan Blue. Midnight and Variegated Dove Gray. What else do we have here? Chancy Foam over Studio White. That is June Purple with a little bit of Chancy Foam on that rim. Strontium Gloss with Dove on the rim. Ooh, I'll do that again. Look at that. That is Blue Opal and Tuscan Blue on the rim. Yeah, I know it's super small, but it looks like the colors are melding in a really interesting way, giving sort of a really blue dark outline to where they mix. So I will do that again. All right, just a few more in the bottom. That's Blue Opal with Chancy Foam. Blue Opal again. Guess I did a lot with that one. These are June Purple and Chancy Foam. And that is the same there. June Purple and Chancy Foam. The last two semi-ugly dishes. Micro Pearl and Tuscan Blue and green tea. Yeah, and this one has a little bit of a crawl spot on it too, so that'll probably refire. But this one was really pretty. All right, that's it. Yay! So despite this being a hot kiln, I really didn't have too much running onto the kiln shelves, which is interesting. You would have thought I would have had more of that. And then there's, if you can see the other side of the room, hi, other pots. Yeah, I'm gonna say this was a really successful opening. I think I've got, what, a tiny refire one, so pretty much everything sellable, nothing damaged. Yeah, it looks like a 98% success rate here, so happy me. I can't wait to get all these listed and sell them, so have a good day, everyone. Thanks for watching.